Wild Card Weekend continues on this football Sunday in New Orleans. The historic Mercedes-Benz Superdome, the site for this NFC showdown between the 7th seed Chicago Bears and the 2nd seed New Orleans Saints.
And there is the great Drew Brees. He's thrown for over 80,000 yards, 571 TDs for his 20-year career. He's looking to get back to his 2nd Super Bowl.
Mitchell Trubisky is 3-1 in his last 4 weeks, probably playing his best football, but he's going to need that and more because he's going up against the number 4 ranked defense in the New Orleans Saints.
There's running back Alvin Kamara out last week because of COVID protocols, didn't practice this week. Don't worry, everybody. This guy leads the NFL with 21 total touchdowns.
And hello, folks. I'm James Brown. Welcome to the NFL Today, presented by Ram Trucks. Day 1 of Super Wild Card Weekend did not disappoint as the Bills, Rams, and Buccaneers all looked impressive as they took care of business to advance to next week's divisional round. And tonight, the Browns make their triumphant return to the playoffs for the first time since 2002. But Baker Mayfield and company will be shorthanded against the Steelers as head coach Kevin Stefanski, along with 4 players, including 3 starters, will miss the game due to COVID protocols. But up next, here on CBS, it's Drew Brees and the Saints looking to take their first step on the road to Super Bowl 55 as they play host to Mitch Trubisky, Khalil Mack, and the Chicago Bears at the Superdome.
That's all we got at this moment right here. Today. Time is here. We've been waiting for this, fellas.
We got nothing to lose. Everybody's overlooking us.
Touchdown to beauty by Mitchell Trubisky.
When you get to Sunday, anything can happen.
Bears finish the deal.
Let's ride, baby. Good job.
You know, we've had some unique playoff experiences.
Oh, no.
We've learned a lot over the last 4 years.
Unbelievable no call.
Wow, what a way to end your season. There absolutely is that.
Let's go. Time is now.
How about that drive?
Let's go.
He's gone to the house. Wow! They cannot stop Drew Brees. Big time hit. Complete domination by the Chicago Bears.
Game over. Let's go.
Are you not entertained?
Back in Studio 43, folks, I am pleased to join my esteemed colleagues from the fraternity. That will be Phil Simms, Hall of Fame coach Bill Cowher, and Boomer Esiason. Of course, Nate Burleson in New Orleans, where he'll be on the Nickelodeon broadcast of today's NFC battle. Knock 'em alive, Nate.
Yes.
And we'll look forward to seeing you back here next week. Boomer, we do know some teams will be playing next week.
That's right. Over in the NFC, guys, if the New Orleans Saints win our game today, then they will host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a Brees and Brady matchup. And over in the AFC, you take a look at this. Baltimore just beat Tennessee, so they'll be watching tonight's game between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh wins, they go to Buffalo and see Josh Allen for a rematch of that Sunday night game a few weeks ago.
And Boomer, today, Drew Brees and the Saints will have the opportunity to advance, but the Bears do stand in their way.
Well, they do. The Bears got a good team. They had a good run at the end of the year. But when you talk about Drew Brees, look what he's done against the Bears in the last 10 seasons. 5-0, almost 80% completion, over 300 yards, 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. Drew Brees has one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in front of him in the NFL, and he has gotten better every single week he's been out there since that injury, and he plays against the zone defense today, which the New Orleans Saints love, and they tear up. Alvin Kamara, he missed last week because of COVID protocols, but hey, he can do it all. Catch the football, runs with power, speed, side to side, and Michael Thomas, he's been out the last 3 games. He's only caught 9 footballs from Drew Brees this year, but you know, I just got a feeling, Bill, that they might be able to click pretty good right away as this game gets going.
I don't think that's going to take too long for us to get hooked up. And you're thinking about the other side of the ball, the Chicago Bears. This offense got rolling because it has adapted a philosophy that met this guy's skill set. He's a very athletic quarterback. In the last 4 games, he's got 70% completion percentage, only 6 touchdowns. They got back to running the football with him on the perimeter throwing a play action, and David Montgomery, that guy right there, has scored a rushing touchdown in 5 straight games. So it's going to take them controlling the football, keeping the New Orleans offense off the field, and again, get Trubisky on the corner. Let him do what he does best. play a little bit unconventional, throw caution to the wind today. They're going to need to do that. Akeem Hicks and Khalil Mack, a big factor on the defensive side of the ball for the Chicago Bears.
Did you say caution to the wind?
Throw caution
Or Mitch Trubisky, I don't want caution to the wind today because we're going to be going against one of the best defenses in all of football. Now, Cam Jordan, a solid presence in the middle of this defensive line. Phil talked about their offensive line. This is one of the best defensive lines in football as well. And they're missing Trey Hendrickson, possibly their best pass rusher today, but everybody else is healthy. And let's face it, guys, Mitch Trubisky, when he plays the top flight defense, struggles. This offense does not put up the points that we saw against some of the lesser defenses in football. So I think this is a tall order for the young quarterback of Chicago.
And as you know from your top-rated radio program in New York, there's always news to report on in the world of football. And for more news and updates from around the league, folks, let's welcome in our NFL Today insider. That would be Jason Lockenfor for the latest on the future of a few quarterbacks we'll see today.
Well, JB, it would be a total shock to Drew Brees' friends, his teammates, and his coaches if he played football next season. Retirement's looming, and a broadcast career awaits. Meantime, Coach Sean Payton, I'm told, is very eager and motivated to re-sign Jameis Winston. He's been impressed by everything about Winston and wants to have that traditional quarterback to couple with the unorthodox Taysom Hill. Mitchell Trubisky, his future in Chicago, much brighter than it looked a month ago. Look for the Chicago Bears to sign him to a short-term deal after not picking up his fifth-year option. Trubisky's play in December likely prevented a coaching search as well. And as we told you all the way back in October, Deshaun Watson was pushing for Eric Bieniemy, Chiefs offensive coordinator, to at least get consideration for the Texans head coaching job. Ownership had led him to believe he would at least have some voice in this process. Well, Houston's the only team not to talk to Bieniemy, and I'm told they don't intend to. Watson is miffed about the entire process. A new GM, Nick Caserio, has to come in mending fences. Boom. They better get this right, or their best player may demand a trade.
Oh, man, good luck with that. There's Khalil Mack talking about the best player. He's one of two players with 8+ sacks in the last 6 seasons. The other player, Aaron Donald. How about Demario Davis firing up his teammates before the game? Go get him, Demario. Well, I'd try to fire you up before a game.
The NFL Today. Ram Trucks Motor Trends Truck of the Year for the 3rd year in a row.
The road to Tampa ends in just a few short weeks with the celebration of the game. Join us on February 7th to find out which team will lift the Lombardi Trophy. Folks, it'll be a day to remember at Super Bowl 55 here on CBS. Another year, another playoff run for Saints head coach Sean Payton. In his 14th year with the team, Super Bowl champ has already faced adversity this year, but with Brees back in the lineup, the sky is the limit for the Saints. Time now for Pregame HQ delivered by Domino's, and for more on Brees and the Saints, let's toss it over to Coach and Boomer.
All right, JB, thanks so much. You know, we heard Jason Lockenfor a little bit earlier talk about this could be it for Drew Brees. This could be his last run. But there is no doubting how important he is to Sean Payton's offense.
There's no doubt about that, Boom. You talk about Drew Brees. He missed 4 games earlier in his year. Taysom Hill took over. And you can see the contrast between it, the points per game, the negative plays or lack of sacks per game. And you can see that he's gotten better each and every week since he's been back 4 weeks ago. Watch what he does right here. Emmanuel Sanders, you talk about his arm strength. They question his arm. Watch this ball from the pocket again. He catches him sleeping. Emmanuel Sanders down there, 49 yards on the field. But look at the pocket that he has. One of the best offensive lines of football. And Drew Brees, the master of moving people around. Watch his eyes right there. Move the safety just to get the right there. Emmanuel Sanders in the seam. Now down there in the red zone. Jared Cook, the big tight end, a favorite target for him. Look at again. Moving the safety, stopping with his eyes. He's got the pocket in between 4 guys. Jared Cook right there. And again, when you watch Drew Brees, as he's gone down these last 4 games, gotten better and better and more comfortable. And then today, he gets Alvin Kamara back and Michael Thomas. I'll tell you what, look out for the New Orleans Saints going in the playoffs.
You know, it's amazing, Coach. He's 6 foot. I'm 6'5". I have no idea how he sees down the field behind those trees that he plays that stand in front of him. All right, more on the Bears. Let's go over to JB and Phil.
Hey, I wonder if they saw.
Are you okay? You okay? I'm a little worried about you here.
Hey, so. I was wondering if they could tell I was turning blue, you know? Maybe not. Hey, fellas, thank you so very much. Drew Brees and that Saints offense certainly capable of putting up some big numbers. So the question is, Phil, you would think that Trubisky was the worst thing to ever come into the league.
Oh, he's the worst quarterback in the NFL. I don't know how he does it, but somehow he gets it done. 6-3 since he's been the starter. They were 2-5 without him. Look at the difference in the points. Look at the difference in the total yards. Hey, Mitchell Trubisky, the only way you're going to quiet people is that you're going to have to play extremely well today and find a way to win. But since they've been running the football, as Bill Cowher talked about, his play action passes have been off the charts. 76% completion. It's been awesome. Matt Nagy, the head coach, I give him a lot of credit. What did he do? He turned the play calling over to Bill Lazor, who got Mitchell Trubisky under the center, and this offense has done so much better because of that. Akeem Hicks inside. JB, this is one big man.
Yes, sir.
What does he do? He's in there to stop the run, push the pocket, try to disrupt Drew Brees right at him. And the last guy is Khalil Mack. Hey, outside rusher, gets chipped, double team all the time. Chicago, move him around today so he has a chance to go one-on-one and get something done.
And Bills defensive coordinator Chuck Pagano called Alvin Kamara public enemy number 1.
That means he's good. There's Alvin Kamara. He can run. He can catch. We've seen it all from him out last week. 83 receptions this season. Leads the NFL. And here we go. Eddie Jackson giving that pregame speech. Boomer firing that team up, getting ready to go today.
The NFL Today is sponsored by Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. Verizon, the network more people rely on. And by Ram Trucks, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year for the 3rd year in a row.
Chicago Bear Tariq Cohen surprised 4 patients from the Advocate Children's Hospital with the Zoom call, allowing the kids to have some one-on-one time with the running back and giving away some Bears gear in the process. Well, future Hall of Famer Drew Brees gearing up for what could be the last playoff push of his storied career. Earlier this week, Phil Simms sat down with a 20-year veteran who's in search of that elusive 2nd Super Bowl title.
That's right, JB. This season, Drew Brees and the Saints, they were on a roll when the veteran QB suffered an injury that would put a lot of younger guys out for the year. But now as he prepares to lead the Saints towards Super Bowl 55 in Tampa, the soon-to-be 42-year-old future Hall of Famer is ready to prove that age is just a number.
Hey, Drew, hard to believe it, but I'm going to tell you this. Next week, you turn 42. So, being 42 in the locker room, how does it relate to the guys if they get on you about your age?
I try to stay hip, to the dress code and kind of the fashion of the day, I got my tight-fitting joggers on, and try to look the part, try to fit in.
We have 3,000 in attendance here today, and all of them excited about seeing Drew Brees back after a month.
Just watching you play each week since you come back from your injury, it looks like you're really just getting into the flow of the game, and you're back in that great comfort zone.
It was a tough injury, and one I've obviously never experienced before, and really didn't know the timeline as to the healing process with the ribs and the lung, and something I really wanted to be careful with at the same time, because it was one of those where I really had to play long and think about, all right, what's the most important thing here, and that is being as healthy as I can by playoff time.
I got a little bit of joy watching you on the sideline because of this. You would rock back and forth when you're not playing, and then you would lick your fingers and, whatever, getting ready for the play. And I go, oh, my God, he thinks he's playing the game while you're on the sideline.
I'm a quirky dude, man. I do a lot of stuff, and I probably don't even realize I do it. Just I'm so programmed. But even when I'm not playing, that's the way I'm at practice. Even if there's another guy taking the rep, I'm getting the middle rep, and that includes licking my fingers.
I was a big finger licker too, with food and, of course, in football both. So whatever, as you can tell. Hey, being an ex-quarterback, I remember driving to the stadium as I was going down there for the first work day of the week, and the anticipation, I would always, oh, man, I can't wait to see the game plan. And sometimes there's a little disappointment, but most of the time you're like, oh, this is great. Do you get those feelings?
It's always funny how, certain plays kind of evolve, and maybe even, I can't tell you how many times we've put in a late Saturday ad, or even like a Sunday morning, ad, and all of a sudden that becomes, a huge play in the game. So the work's never done around here.
Well, if your play sheet is as big as Sean Payton's, you've got to be one smart dude to learn it all, because he's got a big play sheet over there on the sidelines.
Yeah, it's because his eyes are going bad. So
Is that it? Hey,
that font's pretty big these days.
Drew Brees is on the money. They cannot stop Drew Brees. He is a machine.
2 years ago, we did an interview, and I said, what keeps you going? And you said, it's that the drive, I want to play in the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I'm here for my team. I came back this year for no personal reasons, no personal goals, no personal agenda, other than I want to play for my team. I want to win a trophy for my team, this organization, this city. That's it.
You know, when you finish your career, no matter when that is, can you imagine just living life without playing football in the NFL?
I know it's going to be an adjustment from all the guys that I've had the chance to play with and then hear their stories about, retirement. It's that, you can never replicate, that feeling of running out of the tunnel, on game day. I think when you look back and say, man, I gave it everything I could and I left the game better than I found it, that's what it's all about.
Well, as you watch that interview, you know how you stay in the NFL as a quarterback when you're turning 42 years old. You're neurotic in preparation. That's what he said he was. And one thing that, Bill, I don't think we say enough about Drew Brees. We talk about all these fancy things, but he is one tough guy mentally and one tough guy physically.
He really is, Phil. He's a student of the game, and you talk about the relationship he has with Sean Payton. He keeps talking about those add-ons. I'm not so sure those add-ons aren't Drew giving them to Sean.
Yeah.
Because he has these ideas. He coaches his kids in the football league and flag football league. But that guy right there, Sean Payton, what he's done down in New Orleans, that chemistry and that relationship that he has with Drew is very special.
I think they probably have over 1,000 plays in their playbook, and he doesn't wear wristbands. So that means he knows everything, and he knows what the coach is going to call. So they do have a great relationship. Last night, we saw the great Tom Brady manipulate a pocket against the Washington football team. This is how you play quarterback in the National Football League. That's why these two guys have lasted so long. Watch how he manipulates the pocket today against the Bears.
An explosive and physical game between the Ravens and Titans with Lamar playing like the MVP he is.
You're right, JB. He had 136 yards rushing and a rushing TD, 179 yards passing. And you could tell that he was jacked up for this game from the beginning. There's this narrative that he hadn't won a playoff game. He was sick and tired of hearing about it. Marcus Peters makes the big pickoff here. They win 20-13. They go to stomp on the Titan logo. And the reason they did this is because the Titans did this in pre-game in Baltimore in Week 11. It was a big issue between Coach Vrabel and Coach Harbaugh, and and I know you know this, as your coach, because you guys do this devious type of stuff. They used that, I'm sure, all week long to show his team to get him motivated.
Hey, wait a minute, you threw footballs at him.
Well,
He's not on the field.
Make it personal, Jim.
Right? Somehow, payback, and we know what that is. So they got it today, the Baltimore Ravens, but they did it on the defensive side, which we got to pay attention to. They're big up front, and they can stop a running game like Derrick Henry. 18 carries for 40 yards. Pernell McPhee had some big tackles. Brandon Williams just clogging up the middle. Derek Wolfe, Brandon Williams, awesome too. So they did a great job up front. Look at that, 18 carries, 40 yards, a season low, of course. And we even saw Derrick Henry a little upset at the fact he wanted more tries with football.
This is huge for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. There's been 17 straight games when they've been down by 10 points where they've lost the game. They were down 10-0 in this game. For them to come back and to overcome that deficit is huge for the Baltimore Ravens and huge for Lamar Jackson. Get rid of the narrative that he can't come from behind. He proved today, and he was a very determined guy.
That was also a big game for Don Wink Martindale, the defense coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. He held the Titans to 209 total yards. They stuffed the run, and they put the game on Ryan Tannehill. Unfortunately, as a receiver, slipped there at the end, and Marcus Peters makes the interception. And that's the difference between these two teams. That's how close they are.
A narrative like that from guys who played in the game is just criminal. But I'm certainly glad that they got it done on the field, Coach.
And now Lamar got it done on the field, and you couldn't be happy for a guy. I've been talking about a guy that needs to get it done on the field today. How about this guy, Cam Jordan? He has 7.5 sacks, 4th-ranked defense, going up against Mitch Trubisky, trying to get that first win after 3 postseason losses.
If I'm a Bears fan, I would be sick to my stomach.
Are you joking me? This guy is horrible. It's the same old Trubisky.
Mitchell bleeping Trubisky.
You go from being the center of attention to running the scout team. They've made the change to Nick Foles, and they're not looking back.
Trubisky standing in the pocket, drills the middle of the end zone, touchdown!
And he goes to the end zone and caught for a touchdown.
Trubisky's looked very efficient handling the ball.
Flat out the best weeks of Mitchell Trubisky's career so far.
Hey, folks, as we take a look at the Superdome, that venue has hosted 7 Super Bowls. New Orleans, certainly accustomed to big events. Yes, indeed, as we heard from all of that narration there, an up-and-down season for Mitchell Trubisky. But, folks, he is 6-3 this year as the Bears starter, and he has an opportunity to solidify himself with his first postseason victory today. Time now to deliver our picks with game day delivery presented by Amazon.
I'm feeling confident after yesterday's game. I predicted the exact score. Saints today, 30. Bears, 17.
Is that true?
It is true. Trust me.
All right.
Don't trust him.
Yeah, trust him. All right.
Hey, so I believe, again, it's going to be a tall task for Chicago, and I do believe they're caution to the wind, boom, in terms of the approach to this game. I do believe it's still going to be New Orleans 24-14, but I think for the Chicago Bears, again, I say it again, go against all your tendencies, throw early, run late.
You know, I think 31-13 in favor of the New Orleans Saints. And believe you me, they've been listening all week long about their last 3 years in the playoffs. Right. And how they have lost and how they haven't lived up to what everybody expects them to live up to. And as far as Mitch Trubisky goes, I can appreciate that he fought and got his job back. You know, there's a reason why they signed Nick Foles in the offseason. And I always say if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. And so they have 2 quarterbacks on their roster. They tried to flip it to Nick Foles. He couldn't hold on to the job. And the one thing I will say about Mitch Trubisky is he came back against some of the poor defenses in football and had some of his best games. And he looked relaxed, but he couldn't throw it over 300 yards. Today against the Saints, with this offense and this defense and the way that they are coming into this game knowing that they have to win this game, to meet Tom Brady and the Buccaneers next week, I think this is a really tall order for Mitch Trubisky.
You don't pick who you play, and I'll tell you one thing that happens. You play against the National Football League defenses, and you get confidence when you play well. And he is playing with confidence. He needs to continue to take that confidence. And right now, they need to continue to put him in positions where he has run, pass options. And I say that to him because it's not just his arm. Use your feet. And again, they're going to have to get a turnover on defense, too. That defense has to step up today. It's going to take all 3 elements, even the special teams. But right now, if I'm Matt Nagy, I don't have anything to lose. No one's giving us a chance coming down here. We're 8-8. What? So, what? Maybe should we show up? You know what? I go in there right now. Yeah. I got a chip on my shoulder.
He's getting
so you know what?
No, it's great.
It's a tall task, yes. But that guy right there, you play loose, you play confident, and don't be afraid to take some chances.
Hey, look, they've been running the football well. His play action passes, they've been off the charts. So you got to give him a lot of credit for what he's doing. I don't care who they play. Today, you're right, he's got to move around, do whatever. And the emotional edge to me, New Orleans, everybody is, hey, you're going to win this team. It's hard to get up for a team that you think you're better than. And the Bears, they have that emotional edge.
Yeah, I know that, but I also know that the New Orleans Saints have been listening all week long about how they've lost or get knocked out of the playoffs the last 3 years. You know, Drew Brees, this is his 20th year. He's 8-8 in the playoffs, so this is his 17th playoff game. He's lost back-to-back home games as the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. He's only had one NFC championship game appearance. It's not that you root for a team, but if there's a guy that really epitomizes the strength of overcoming adversity and injuries and reestablishing his career, like Ryan Tannehill's in the middle of doing right now for the Tennessee Titans, this is what Drew Brees did with the New Orleans Saints and Sean Payton.
Yeah, and they could be reaching their crescendo. I mean, you think about the fact that he had a 4-game break in the middle of the season at his age, and all of a sudden he comes back, he's playing his best football, and oh yeah, now I get Michael Thomas back. I've gotten Emmanuel Sanders and Jared Cook, and Alvin Kamara's got a game rest. They are playing, probably coming in there as healthy and playing some of the best football they have.
All systems go for New Orleans, Bill. Now, so many big matchups you always want to talk about in the game, but can Chicago's offensive line hang in there against a defensive line that's good, that's deep, has a lot of pass rushers? It's going to be tough for Chicago Bears offensive line.
Well, you guys who are from the fraternity, keep me in check now.
Okay.
It just irritates me, and I love how Bill Cowher gets fired up. Folks on the outside with all these crazy narratives, like Teddy Roosevelt said with the title of his poem, it's the man in the arena. You've been there. Get it done. Football is...
JB, I love it.
Get her done.
Yes.
Oh,